Hello, Ladislas Maurice of The Wandering Investor. Today we are in Playa del Carmen in Mexico together with Luigi, and we'll be discussing why families are moving to Playa del Carmen, and we'll look at a gated community that has effectively everything, right?
Everything from international school, hospital, parks, a little plaza. It has a cenote. If you're not familiar with a cenote is, that's the underground water system. There's so much, a lot of green areas. It's a great place for people to enjoy as a family. Kids could ride their bikes freely, like we used to back in the day.
So really the objective here is not to show great return on investments and rental yields, etc., but it's about demonstrating the sort of lifestyle that families can have here in Mexico. Objectively very affordable prices. So we'll go check out some housing a bit later, but first let's just look at the amenities because it really, really is beautiful. And when you compare the price point and even the HOA that you pay here on a monthly basis compared to what you can get in North America, it's not surprising that so many people are moving to such places.
Yeah, and especially when you drive in here, I mean, look at all the greenery. First of all, the roads are beautifully paved. They leave a lot of green areas. All the cable and internet, everything is underground. The only thing that's above ground is just these beautiful lights. So in the evening, it's really beautiful. Yeah, so up here, actually, within this community, you also have a clubhouse. So there's a swimming pool, there's a games area, there's a gym, and you have access to these amenities. There's also like a multi-purpose room that you can rent out if you have like a kid's birthday party or you want to have a meeting and so on. We'll go in there afterwards, but that's only for residents or people who are living here can get into that clubhouse.
So how big is this community?
I think it's 16 hectares, I believe.
So it's huge.
I believe that's how many, it might be larger.
And the way it works is there have been sub-developers within the community?
That's right. So there's huge community, and then there are all these plots of land that developers have purchased, and everybody, or different developers have their style and are doing their own development. Some are doing condos, some are doing homes, and then there's the commercial developers that are doing plazas, commercial spaces, hospitals, schools, and so on and so on. And that's how it works. You have everything here. And the beautiful thing about it is the sidewalks are really big. You have running tracks. If you wanted to just have your kids jump on a bike and ride their bike in their own little gated community.
So you can't feed? So there are all these like...
Yeah, there's lots of animals. So they prefer that you don't feed the animals. Obviously, then the animals start to get used to coming around and they... So up here on the right, you can't see, there's so many trees. That's what I love about this place. But there's a beautiful school that was just completed. So this is the international school. You'll see the kids' playground here. It's a very large building. And so here it's great for the kids because the kids can learn Spanish. They're amongst many kids from different cultures.
Okay, so this is the international school.
Yeah, which is great. So you can learn different languages. Kids will be exposed to different languages. You'll have German, you'll have French, you'll have English.
Okay, Lorea World School. Okay. And how much would a school like this cost, roughly?
In Mayakoba, I mean, the schools pretty much range between, 4,000 to 8,000 pesos a month, I think, around here.
So $200 to $400 a month, roughly, for schools, which is pretty standard here in the Riviera Maya. So this is nice. This means the kids can actually cycle home. They can walk
for lunch, come back. Yeah.
Within the gated community with security all around.
That's right.
Look, it's in terms of education standards, don't expect Ivy League. Let's be clear. The schools are decent here, but that's it. They're decent, they're fine, but just don't expect world beating education. Really, the focus is on the fact that the kids can learn Spanish. They have a lot of free time. It's safe. They play with other kids. They're in a nice community. They live overseas. They get experience. That's the value add, I would say, rather than pure academic excellence.
Inside this community, there's going to be an internal bus system to take you to different directions because it is a big community. So if you need to catch the bus and take you to the front gate, for those who need to go to work and need to go out to the front gate and catch the public system out there as well. There's always new construction. There's a 7-Eleven that just opened up here. This is one of several. Look at all these towers going up, these condos. It's amazing to think that a few years ago, nothing was here. And this is all within the last several years.
And these are the bus stops right here.
Yeah, these are going to be the bus stops. Again, if you move here and you don't have a car right away, you can still move around.
if you don't have a car and you move here, it'll be hot really quickly because I wouldn't want to be there waiting for the bus there.
Yeah, of course.
So rather get something cheaper and stay in town. But it's pretty affordable. I mean, there are places starting from what, $100,000 in some of the more affordable developments here.
Inside here, yeah, some of the condos are about 100,000, and then it goes up from there. You can go all the way up to even $1 million home in here if you would like. So it's a good mix. But what I really love about this community too is that the sidewalks are just unbelievably maintained. The greenery, the roads, everything is well kept. The lighting in the evening, it's very safe to walk around here. So it's just a beautiful place. You walk out and you just feel beautiful. You feel like you're living in a great, well kept, maintained community. And we just drove by a foreigner and he's waving at us saying
He
hello.
looked like a very sunburned British guy.
Yeah. But I mean, he's waving and saying hello, and that's the thing, is that inside here, people walk by you and say hello, and it's a nice community feel.
So effectively, nice sidewalks, not nice roads. What the Mexican government is not able to deliver, the private sector can.
Yeah, so it's really nice.
These roads are really nice. I actually taught my mother-in-law how to drive here a few years ago. She still can't drive, but that's a different topic.
So there was, and I do believe there still is, plans for a hospital. There was actually plans for a couple hospitals. So they did start construction for one hospital up here. Now it seems like the construction is stopped for the moment. So I'm not sure what's happening or what the plans are.
Yeah, there were clearly plans.
It's a big space as well.
Healthcare and medical tourism. Yeah, construction has stopped, so it's a bit hard to put a timeline on this. But the reality is healthcare tourism in Mexico is booming. Americans just come here in droves for obvious reasons. So what we saw a bit earlier were the entrances to the nicer developments. We're going to go check out a villa there. And these are the more affordable developments, right?
Yeah, so these are more affordable condominium projects. These are very affordable, from 100 to 150,000. These are, 2-bedroom condos. You can even get some 3 bedrooms. Very busy community around here. So these get rented out. So if anybody were to invest in one of these, they would rent them out long term. This is all long-term rental contracts out here. Families that want to live out here.
So you'll find a lot of the Mexican middle and upper class living in these developments.
Yeah. So, and it's great for them. It's great for the kids. Because each one of
they
these,
have cute play areas, parks.
Yeah, they have play areas. So each development has their own play area and amenity within their gated community, and then there's some amenities when you come out of the gated community, and there's a lot of walking trails and things like that. And like I was mentioning, the families love it because there's pools, there's the parks, and they can be in their condo and they can look down at the pool and keep an eye on their child. Yeah, here's another 7-Eleven. So there's several 7-Elevens in here. And then right after the 7-Eleven, for those of you who may not know, Oxxo is the big convenience store chain in Mexico. And so right after the 7-Eleven, you have an Oxxo. And in this little plaza, not only do you have an Oxxo, you have a laundromat, you have a dance school or like a music school. So there's a little snack bar.
And some pet store. So
a pet store, which everybody here has pets. So it's important to have that.
I think it says a lot about the demographics.
So we just passed another plaza with a vet, coffee shop. And here there's even more commercial. So it's all going to be commercial down here. And those are condos on the other side. So we just drove into the main gate, the main security gate. And then within this big community, there are sub-communities with their own private entrance and their own private security. And so we're about to go into this private entrance in this private community within this large community. And in here, we're going to go see a house. An example of a house, you need a decal to be able to get in. And so now we're inside this gated community within the large gated community, and in here there's all these beautiful homes. All right, so this is an example. So this is actually a showroom from this developer. So this size lot, this is 163 square meters, and the construction is just under 300 square meters of construction. So it's
so about 3,000 square feet.
Right. So it's a nice size home. This is going for about 400,000, not furnished. Not furnished, it does include the hood fan for the stove. It does include the stove. It does include the cooktop. It includes the closets and the air conditionings, but the couches and all the major furniture, that's not included. Yeah, so this is it. So high ceilings, it's nice. It's cool. It's spacious. It's an open concept. So you have marble, I mean, they do a good job.
Because this is the showroom,
Yeah.
I am grabbing a beer.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah. I'm not.
Luigi,
No, that just
water.
makes me tired. Water for me.
He's driving.
I'm driving. Yeah. But you have a huge sink. I mean, it's very, very comfortable house. This is what it would look like if you wanted to get furniture. You can see the size, how much of a dining room table you can put in here. So very family oriented.
Cool. So look, I don't want this to turn into a property viewing, etc. I think the main point out of this video is imagine you are sitting in Toronto or you're sitting in Boston in some random suburb. Compare 400,000 US dollars, what it gets you back home, probably a two-bedroom condo if you're lucky, or a very nondescript house in a faraway suburb,
Right.
or this. And then you have your own pool. So what's the HOA for this place?
Yeah, I was just going to mention. So the HOA here is 1,700 pesos a month, which is, what, $80, $85 a month. And that includes the maintenance for the private community that this house is in. It also includes the general maintenance for the main entrance of the large community. And it includes also the maintenance for the clubhouse. So the owners in this residence also have access to the clubhouse, which has the pool and the tennis courts and so on and so on. And that's all for $85 a month.
This is ridiculous, right? So just, again, picture the life you could have here. So this is not, I wouldn't buy this house to then rent it out for rental income, etc. That's not the play. The play really is lifestyle and picturing how much of an upgrade you can get. It's easy to get residency in Mexico. There are many ways to obtain residency in Mexico. There's a link below with more information on this. And taxes in Mexico are nominally high, but there are also so many different tax regimes that you can use to minimize your taxes as well. So for many people, it's very feasible to come here, have a better lifestyle, lower your taxes, and just, and have much nicer housing.
Right, your money goes a lot further, that's for sure. Yeah, so up here, there's 3 bedrooms. Each bedroom has their own ensuite, and then you have the half bathroom downstairs. So really, it's a 3.5 bath, 3 bedroom. Great space, perfect for a family.
Very nice. And again, I love the high ceilings.
Yeah, they really do a good job with the high ceilings and then the closet space and wood everywhere. And I also like the fact that there's balconies and greenery. So really comfortable.
So what type of people are buying these homes?
Well, actually, right now, we're seeing a lot of Canadians moving here and buying in these types of communities, Americans as well, and we have some Europeans, but there's a lot of Canadians that are coming here with their families.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Canada is increasingly problematic. So yeah, people are moving here. I totally understand. So yeah, this just shows that if you move here, your kid won't be the only white kid at the school wondering, why his parents took him to Mexico and, having problems adapting. He'll be around with a lot of foreign kids, a lot of Mexican kids. It'll be very international. He'll speak English. He'll speak Spanish. So from that point of view, it's really positive.
Right. Absolutely. And actually, there's a lot of Canadian families coming to this community. There's a lot of Americans and even some Europeans that are starting to move their families out here.
I'd say there are different types of people moving to such communities. So one would be the upper middle and upper class Mexicans. There's a lot of business activity here in the Riviera Maya. The place is booming. I mean, the city of Playa del Carmen grew from 20,000 when you first came here,
right? In the last 25 years, from 20,000, we're close to 400,000?
Yeah.
Residents now?
So between 300 and 400,000 people now. So it's really booming. So there's a lot of business activity. Then there are a lot of Mexicans from the US that are buying places here in Mexico. A lot of Americans, because they see that for, again, $400,000, if you love the gated community feel, you're not going to get this for $400,000 with such amenities in the US with an HOA of $90 a month.
Impossible.
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
Then Canadians, they're moving here for obvious reasons. I mean, I think why Canadians are leaving Canada would be a whole video onto itself.
Absolutely.
A lot of Western Europeans also like these gated communities. Why? Because it's a new concept. It doesn't really exist in Western Europe. It's not a thing. So they're easily wowed by all the amenities and how green and lush it is, because these things just don't exist back home. And then a lot of Russians, Ukrainians, and Kazakhs are moving to this one particularly because of birth tourism. So they come here, they have a kid, the kid gets Mexican citizenship, and then they stay for 2-3 years, get their citizenship, and then go back to wherever they came from, but then they have a better passport to travel around. This is actually a big segment here in this particular community, and birth tourism is booming in Mexico, and not just amongst Eastern Europeans, but a lot of Western Europeans that want a plan B, a lot of North Americans as well that see that, hey, just by having your kid in Mexico, you get that plan B, the kid gets an extra citizenship. So this is also a big industry in this part of Mexico.
Absolutely. And then also one thing to mention about this community is if you're looking for all the services, they're very close by. So the beach is 5 to 7 minutes away. You have 3 major supermarkets from Walmart, Soriana, Chedraui, all within driving distance. You're about 15 minutes from downtown Playa. So it has everything that a family would want in terms of services in this gated community and close to the gated community. So
yeah, so don't buy this as for rental income. You buy this because you want a lifestyle upgrade. Let's put it this way. You can also potentially lower your taxes. You can increase your level of freedom. There's a lot of freedom in many respects in Mexico, and you want to give your kids an experience growing up overseas with international kids, learning a second language. So there are a lot of upsides to moving here.
absolutely. And that's it.
And you've helped a lot of people with this process, right?
Lots of people come through, and ask us to help them relocate. And I've seen it myself. I learned a language. I learned Spanish when I moved here. So it's a great experience.
Cool. So I wrote a whole report on the real estate market here in Playa del Carmen, the interesting neighborhoods, the neighborhoods you should avoid, some key learnings. There's a link below. And if you want to get in touch with Luigi, there is also a link below. Luigi, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, link below. And feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.